That squirrel is really upset.
We're in a yoga class. Now is the time to let your mind go blaze.
So we are here with Gabrielle Ruiz, and recently you just filmed Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which will be airing on the CW network. And on Broadway, you were just recently in If Then, which just closed and is now going on tour. Then you have, for television, you have Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which you just did. You have guest starred on Orange is the New Black. You've done some things in Law & Order SVU, Sesame Street, and One Life to Live. What was it like getting to work on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Well, I'm still shooting Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm in a couple of episodes, more than just one. So it has been a whirlwind of so much fun and new ways to be artistic, but still also bring what I have been, doing for almost 10 years in New York on Broadway and such, to a screen. So it's a dark musical comedy. So there are musical numbers in it. Rachel Bloom, who's starring, producing, writing, kind of boss lady of the whole situation, her idea, her big baby. She is like a YouTube sensation, and she's been doing all of these musical spoofs for quite some time, and she writes them all. So she was basically not just discovered, but like picked up to, and someone believed in her to say, hey, let's do this huge TV show. So it's been so awesome to just be comfortable in what I do, for what I've been doing for a very long time, but also learn and like expand my skills. Santino Fontana's in it, Vincent Rodriguez III, Donna Lynn Champlin. A lot of Broadway vets are coming across the coast as well with me to show LA a little bit of musical theater in a different way that is, also dark and funny. So it can be a little naughty, but it's also funny and the kind of dark humor that, everyone is tweeting about nowadays anyway. And also has great storylines. So I get to be this yoga instructor that is, very insecure and just always kind of is always like, pedestal girl. And at the same time, I get to do like some funny, Bollywood and just really cool things that are just, things that I've done. But yeah, so I'm having a really great time.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I have it set on my DVR and everything.
It's going to be fun.
You are now in California right now. What shows on Broadway would you like to see that you probably won't see until later because you are on the other side of the country now?
Well, I got to see Hamilton off Broadway, and I have a lot of great friends. Lin-Manuel gave me my first Broadway job, so, it's a lot of family in that show. Of course, On Your Feet, have the rest of the Latino community is doing that. So I'm representing all the way on this coast, but I'm excited to see that and see how when you audition for a lot of shows, you get to sometimes you get the privilege to read the script and you get to go in for it a lot. And a lot of things I've auditioned for, even though I didn't get them, I was able to see them like a year ago, some ideas of what they were. So it's really cool to go see the show and see how it's been evolved since then, and support my friends. I can't wait to see also Gotta Dance. It's going to start popping next year with some new Gary Mitchell show, and that script and the idea was hilarious. So I can't wait to see what they do with that too.
What was it like taking over Anne for that while when Jen was gone?
Oh, it was a privilege. Everyone knows Jen Colella is a dream on and off stage. She is really, like her Twitter account says, a very, very good hugger. So the hat that I was able to wear at that point for the week was a treat. And I was able to also play with LaShawns, who is, you walk in and she is just this I think she'll be proud to say that she's a diva, but it's really more, she is just a queen. She is regal. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she knows exactly how to just be herself. She's so confident in it. And, with all of her credits and all that she's done, I was able to just, not only kind of kiss her a little bit, but also, play alongside her and be her lover and learn from her. And so she took care of me, which was so nice, because sometimes, I'm first a dancer, and sometimes when it's just stand and sing roles like that, more than just dance, 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 dance. It's a little harder to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to like remember and retain so quickly. And so it was a lot of standing and singing, and then move, move, stand, and you know, mostly like, you know, be with and holding someone's hand a lot, because I play her couple. We're a couple, and so she took care of me. And then Adina and LaShawne's together, and Tamika. I mean, not only are they professional, but they are also a bunch of kooks and silly people. And they taught me so much that what we do is not that deep and so much fun. And we are good at what we do, but we also just, you know, we're here to help people have a good time. And that, you know, that sense of relief and just enjoying you know, what we're doing reminded me of that. But also I had to kind of stay focused a little bit, because we once missed a cue and we didn't go on stage. LaShawne's and I were like, sorry. She'll never admit it though, but I'm gonna say whose fault it was.
What was it like working with the rest of the cast, with James and Adina and Anthony and, you know, everyone else?
Well, it was wonderful. I replaced Stephanie Clements, who's now in Hamilton, and there were a few people that left. It wasn't like a whole cast left. It wasn't a full rotation, you know, of new people. So I was one of the first new people, and they are just a professional party, like rock stars, have so much fun and like enjoy the moments off stage. There's a whole off stage choreography as well in most shows, you know, you got to know that as well. And you know, they're always supportive of each other, and whenever and if anyone ever had like another concert, like when Ryan had her concert, or James or LaShawne's, people were there and you go. So it was definitely a really strong family. You see these people and you're like, oh my god, they're just stars and they're just amazing, but they are also humans, and as long as you treat them that way, they are not any way high and mighty, and so down to earth and humble and love what they do. And that was just so much fun to be around with every day, that I didn't have to like, you know, put a wall up and like focus on my work. You know what I mean? So it was, you know, in a nutshell, fun. Just that word doesn't give it justice. I had to say my favorite was working with Stephanie Clements. She was our dance captain as well, and as also I was her replacement. So cut back to like lots of years earlier, when I was learning In the Heights, she taught me as well all of the 4 tracks, ensemble, and 3 principals that I understudied in the Heights. So it was such a treat that when I booked it, we were just like squealing, because we already had like a shorthand conversation that we knew how to like. She taught me 4 roles like in 4 months, and so we already knew how we worked together, and we have a really great student-teacher relationship as well. And so when she was teaching me the stuff, like, we knew when we could play, we knew when we could work, and we could get it done. And so, and also sending her off to Hamilton, you know, the show that's changing Broadway right now, was so special. And she also left her fish in the dressing room, so it was my and all the ensemble women's duties to take care of Kyle Dean, is the fish's name. It was a perfect opportunity for me to fill her shoes again. So that was a privilege and so special. It was very special.
You got to work with Lynn on In the Heights. What was it like working with him?
Well, the shorter story of the story I was telling was he is so cool and laid back, and cool is the word. I mean, I remember my first audition for In the Heights. I just had graduated from college before I went to Broadway, and I sang I'm Every Woman, Whitney Houston, clueless of what I was auditioning for at that moment. I had just like popped out of college green and just like, okay, whatever, and just sang. And he was like singing along with me from the chair, and you know, just super cool and whatnot. And my favorite pastime of In the Heights with Lynn is that if we ever had a wedding, somebody's wedding or somebody's birthday party or something, he always ended up being DJ. He always ended up being DJ. Like before, like, you know, you had like a really cool iPhone, you got the iPad out. He would get those out, and he would always play, he would always DJ. He just ended up DJing all the time. So if I ever get married, Lynn, I hope you're hearing this, that I would love to hire you for a very discounted price. Best DJ ever. Still, for Broadway, best DJ ever.
Yes. Okay, what got you started in musical theater and TV and theater and acting and dancing?
Well, I was first a dancer, and I was the kind of like one of the few serious, was really determined to get a triple pirouette in class dancers in my studio, because it was very recreational and, just exercise. And we also did a lot of point work, and I did a lot of ballets. We never did Nutcracker, but we always did other ballets, like in February. And in South Texas, before like YouTube and having so much exposure in the palm of your hand, we weren't even a competition studio. Like I had no idea about competitions or even like Broadway shows, like musical theater. So I was classically trained in high school. I was an all-state choir kid, and vocally, and I put it together in summer stock when I was hired at Music Theater of Wichita. Wayne Bryan gave me my first gig, my first job, and he gave me my first chance, really, and I fell in love with the idea that I could sing, act, dance, and get a paycheck for it. And I was seriously sold. Like, I was like, sign me up, I'll do this all the time for the rest of my life. And so that's what I knew. And the first time I sang by myself, I was Deanna Morales in summer stock in a chorus line. And it was a big moment for me. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do all three. Here I go. And I've been doing it ever since.
You just guest starred in Orange is the New Black, or you just filmed that, which has become a huge Netflix series. What was it like being on set with them?
Well, I don't live in Manhattan. I actually live in Queens. And the commute was the best commute because it wasn't far away, because they shoot in Astoria Kaufman studios, so it was really cool that I didn't have to take an hour and a half to go somewhere to shoot a show. Because sometimes when you go to I've done Law and Order as well, and that's like on the piers, and it takes like an hour and a half to get there from where I'm at. And so I was just like, I only need to take 20 minutes, that was a luxury. And then it was the easiest prep for a TV show, because you wear no makeup. They made me take my nail polish off. They saw the mole on my eyelid, and they were like, we're gonna make it thicker, we're gonna put a scar on you. It's like, this is the best thing ever, They greased my hair, instead of looking like glamorous or anything. And we got to work with one of the series regulars, and saw a few walk in and out, and it was just pretty chill, exactly what you think it would be. It's also it's grimy. It's really, really grimy. It's a different kind of criminal show, but at the same time, I was able to actually sing a little bit in my role. So you'll see me singing a little bit in the line to the bathroom, I think. It was really cool because you try not to, geek out. You try not to be like, oh my God, I'm on set. This is the convict bathroom. And I was like, my mom would be so proud of me for going to jail, and only that way. So, that was the fun thing. It's I was able to be proud to be in jail.
During If Then, was there a hilarious show mishap that happened during your time?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And Adina would talk about it on stage to the audience, and that was the best part about all of them. Oh, I mean, I always was a fan of her, but when she would do that, and I'm not saying that that she was unprofessional. What I'm saying is that she was just so lighthearted, and how she loved what she did, and she invited everyone watching in on what was really happening versus pretending it wasn't happening. So if something would fall, she would laugh, or if something she would forget a line, or someone would, she would help them and remind them that this is the line. She would say it for them, and then she'd be like, okay, let's take it from the top, and then she would walk off stage and start again. So for trying to be, for doing musical theater for so long, you're not used to that, and so you get hot in the face, or you get sweats or nervous sweats or something, and she was just like, meh, whatever, let's go on. She's like a rock star and a superstar, so yes, there were many, and they were always exciting and entertaining, because we would just the show must go on. That's I think the bigger part of it, which was the more fun part.
Okay, if you could reprise your role in anything you've done in your career, what would you do?
If I could reprise, it would definitely be Vanessa or Nina in The Heights. I mean, I did that show for almost 3 years, and I loved every single minute of it. I did. Yeah. That's a really good question. Nina in The Heights.
Okay, if you could create your own musical, what would it be about, and what would the style of dance and music would be what.
Wow.
That was not a sentence, but I'm gonna pretend you understood what I was saying.
You know, that's a very detailed question that, you know, off the top of my head, I'm sure it would be about something to do with MGM period, like all of Fred Astaire and Debbie Reynolds, and like something maybe behind the scenes of MGM Studios and like how, you know, how they put up a movie or something, and it was a musical based on they made a movie. So something like around that era would be fun. So it would be very Gene Kelly, very like old school musical theater. I love to choreograph with props as a choreographer teacher myself, and so I'm sure it would be full of that too. And that era is so much fun, and the wigs are so much fun.
Well, that is all the questions I have, and I will put all of the links down below to all of your social media and your website. And we were very excited that we could do this with you. And
everyone stay tuned on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on the CW, premiering October 12th. You won't see me until the second episode, but it's worth watching from the beginning so you get the idea of what's going on. It's going to be really frickin' funny.
Yay!
So watch. It'll be fun.
And focus instead on how awesome the yoga teacher